In this video series, we'll be looking at all the elements that make up the hire to retire process, all brought together by Access Workspace. One unified HRS platform, one connected team.
Let's talk a bit more about our onboarding within People HR and how it looks from an employee and an administrator perspective. Okay, so let's continue a bit more about onboarding. So now that we've got the new starter wizard pop up, this is one way of adding an employee within People HR. Now we can see that through the ATS, we've been able to gather all of Joe's information. Now the second pane is your job information pane. Say for example, Joe has the exact same role as Archie. We'll be able to copy and paste all of that information. So for example, what department they work for and what role it could potentially be for. In this instance, it was sales manager, so we might need to change that, but they work in the same department in the city. So you can see it's quite easy to pre-populate all of those fields. Our next pane is our tasks pane. This is a great way of keeping managers or employees accountable to make sure that we complete the necessary tasks before Joe's first day within the organization. So we're going to click add a new task, and we might need to create an access pass for Joe and any descriptions we might want to add. We want to notify their manager 14 days before the start date to complete this task, and we're going to tick it to make sure that it's in use. Again, you can see that you can add as many tasks as you like, and the people that are assigned the task to will get notified via email and through the People HR app as well. Now, once we've clicked done, that is pretty much the onboarding wizard complete. We're going to finish and exit. Now, let's talk a little bit more about how we can take that onboarding to the next level. Okay, so now let's look at the onboarding from an employee perspective. In this instance, it's Joe Bradley, who just got the offer, and we've just received a link to sign into People HR for the very first time via email. We've typed in our new password, and we started working in the organization now, which is happy days. We need to continue on with our onboarding process, and this is where our automated workflows come in very, very handy. And we call these in People HR Ripple. Now, there's two different types of ripples or automated workflows that you can use within People HR. We have an interactive ripple, which is in the name. The employees interact with specific workflows within the system. And then we also have a background ripple, which I'm going to touch on a little bit more, a little bit later on in the demonstration as well. So the interactive ripple is a great way of gathering information from the employee throughout the onboarding process. So for example, seeing that Joe's signed into People HR for the very first time, has just joined your organization, we can see that we have a tax file number, information ripple here, and we can see that Joe's been notified to complete this as well. This is a great way to save yourself from doing any sort of tedious tasks through the onboarding process, and you can add as many different steps as you want here. You can pretty much add steps to update your qualifications, any certifications such as a COVID certificate, forklift licenses, working with children's checks, whatever it might be. Pretty much the world's your oyster when it comes to your interactive ripples, and you can have different fields in different types of formats as well, such as digital signatures, multiple choice questions, or anything that you need in order for you to gather this relevant information for the employee. Now we can see here it's quite simple to slowly build on and add on that ripple. So from here, what we can see is that we might need to add a tax file number declaration form here as well. So we can see that we have a person's tax file number. And then we can also have fields such as title fields, date fields, etc. Slowly building on that information so you're not left as an organization to chase up this information yourself. Any additional files that you might want to upload beside that logbook as well, you'll be able to upload there. I'm going to touch a little bit deeper around logbooks and how they work within the system, but this is how they can tie into our Ripple functionality as well. Again, once you configure each Ripple functionality and you assign it to, for example, people that have just joined the organization or a 6-month probation, whatever it might be, it really just depends on how you want to configure and customize these processes and make them your own. It's set and forget. Once you set them up, they'll be able to be used as well. So this is a great example of an interactive workflow, or an interactive ripple, as we like to call it. Now, the other side of the onboarding process could be through a background ripple, and that is in the name as well. That is a ripple that works within the background. You might want to remind people to complete something after their onboarding has completed. You'll be able to do that within the system as well, and I'll show that to you a little bit later on. So say, for example, Joe's going through that onboarding process and he's completed all of that information. That information, again, is stored within John's personal file, which you'll be able to access through the employees section here once we load it up. Okay, we can see that we have Joe Bradley right there. Now, a little bit more about Joe Bradley's personal information while we're here. So you can see that throughout the Ripple functionality, we had some logbook entries, and this is where your logbook entries will sit, such as your tax file number declarations, etc. And then we also have a person's personal information, which sits within here as well. Now, the audit logs or the clock symbols show you any sort of changes that have been made within the system as well, and who they will change by to ensure that there is some transparency within the system of any changes being made. Now, we've spoken about interactive and background ripples and how that sort of ties in to the system and a person's onboarding as well. This is just a quick snapshot to show you how configurable and easy the onboarding process can be from an employee perspective. It really is set and forget, meaning once you configure these workflows, it can do all the tedious tasks for you.
Want to learn more? Well, ask your account manager for other videos in this series, including onboarding, performance management, learning management, employee self-service, employee recognition, and how you can create custom forms and workflows, all using Access Workspace, one unified HRS platform, one connected team.